In today's video, I'm going to be discussing rescheduling your VA compensation and pension exam. 1, can you do it? 2, what are some reasons that would show good cause to reschedule? 3, how do you do it? And 4, what are some things that I've been hearing and seeing third-party VA examiners do that cause veterans to get denied service connection or get denied that increase when they reschedule their exam. So make sure you stick around. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, owner and founder of KMD89 at VA Claims Consulting, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today's video, can you reschedule your VA compensation and pension exam? What are some reasons that you may want to reschedule it? How do you do it? And what I've been seeing and hearing from veterans when they go through this process and the third-party examiners are doing certain things that cause the veteran to get denied service connection. But before I get into today's video, make sure you go out to my website, www.kmd89.com, pick up my new book, VA Claim Success. Been getting a lot of good feedback from it. A lot of veterans saying, hey, it's an easy read. Dwayne, I really appreciate it. You're highlighting a lot of things that I didn't know that have helped me be successful in that VA claims process. So I definitely thank you for the support. Now, today's video. 1, can you reschedule your VA compensation and pension exam? And the answer is yes, you can do it. Now, if you screw it up, it can cause you to get pushed back to the end of the line. I've seen VSOs and lawyers do this and they screw it up and it ends up hurting the veteran, okay? So this is something that you might want to tackle yourself because it is not hard and you want to have a record of what you're doing, okay? So 1, yes, you can reschedule that C&P exam. Now, you know I'm an Army veteran, so I love slides. I got a couple of slides that I'm going to show you. So the next part of this, what are some of the good causes that the VA recognizes when it comes to veterans' requests for rescheduling their C&P exam? Slide number 1. Here in slide number 1, this is the M21 manual reference, okay? And it states definition, good cause, as it relates to VA C&P exams. And it says the definition, good cause, means a reason that justifies failure to report for VA examination. Now, life happens. I get it. You know, you could be in a car accident, you could be in a hospital, some family member, you had to go out of town unexpectedly. It happens. But if at all, try to make this exam. Trust me, because see, a lot of veterans, you know, something happens and it gets screwed up when it pertains to trying to reschedule that exam, okay? But at the end of the day, if you can't do it, you just can't do it. You have to reschedule. Now, it goes on to say, and I highlighted here in red, VA will generally accept any reason offered by the individual as good cause for failure to report for an exam. Now, for example, let's just say you have an actionable and sufficient DBQ. And you say, hey, I'm not going to that exam because you have evidence of record that you can use the rate. And there's 38 CFRs out there, actual regulation that states the rater must use that evidence, but they're not doing it, but that's another video, okay? Good call. So when it says VA, they're talking about thousands of VA employees will generally accept. So the way I interpret this, as a former VA rater, another rater may interpret it a little bit different as it pertains to a good cause that the reason that the veteran provided. Okay, so also keep that in mind. It's not every VA rater looks at this and reads it and interprets it the same, okay? Now, It goes on to say exception. Good cause is not established if the claimant fails to provide any reason for failing to report. I've seen that happen. Veterans, they just don't show up. They don't give a reason. And a lot of times they can't. They could. I've seen veterans where they were stuck in the hospital and they came back and said, hey, I was in the hospital. I couldn't, I knew I had the exam coming up. I didn't have anybody to call. It happens. But you can prove that. You can always go back and prove, say, hey, I was in the hospital, provide that information, okay? Indicates failure to report was based on general concerns about being exposed to and contracting an illness while undergoing examination. I've seen that as well. Or indicates notice of the scheduled examination was not received. That's a huge controversy, okay? Because mail gets lost. But the VA only has, their system says, hey, we sent this out to this last known address, so we must assume that you received it. Now, what are some reasons why you may not go? I already talked about it. Maybe been in a car accident, incapacitated, in the hospital, had an unexpected death in the family, something like that. If that happens, notify the VA immediately or have a family member notify the VA. You can actually have, give somebody third-party consent, someone that you trust. That means they sign a form, you sign it, they sign it, you send it to the VA. So if something happens, you can say, hey, Johnny or Sue or whomever, call the VA and say, I need to reschedule the exam. I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm having surgery and I'll be recouping or something like that. All right. Now that we talked about some good causes and stuff, we're going to go ahead and move into slide number 2. How do you inform the VA? Now, like I stated earlier, I've seen VSOs and lawyers screw this up for veterans. And the veteran comes back and says, oh, my VSO. Hey, you gave them permission to represent you. The buck stops with you, okay? So this is something that you might want to take on yourself, all right? This is a VA form 21-4138, statement in support of claim, okay? Top right-hand corner, make sure you check the date. I got this from the VA's website this morning. Even the links on my website go right to the VA's website, okay? Do not get any VA forms from a third-party website, okay? If they have the link where you can print it off, no. But like mine, if they have it where you can click on that link and it takes you to va.gov/forms, you're in the right place, okay? So this statement in support of claim, it's like an extra sheet of paper. And this is only the first page, okay? So you fill out the top part with your personal information. And in the remarks section, guess what you're gonna do? Inform them. I am informing the VA in writing that I will not be able to make the scheduled exam dated ... with this third-party C&P exam. They should have already gotten something in the mail, email, or FedEx or UPS package in the mail saying that you had to report for a C&P exam. Because, and you give them the reason. Remember on the previous slide where it says do not provide a reason? Give them the reason, okay? It's as simple as that. Now, once you have this form completed, signed, submit it to the VA. I did a video where I talked about the quick submit link where you upload your claim form. You fill it out and you upload it. That's where you want to upload it. Also, you can mail it if you like. They'll get it twice. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? Also, as a follow-up, you want to call 800-800-827-1000. 800-827-1000 and inform them by phone that you will be you will not be reporting to that C&P exam because of what you put in the remarks section on this VA form 21-4138. So they're going to receive it twice. They're going to receive this document twice because you're going to mail it and you're going to use the quick submit link to upload it. And you're going to call in Okay? Now, you may say, Dwayne, that's overkill. And I'm going to explain to you in a minute why you want to do this. Okay? Now, again, I've seen VSOs and lawyers screw this up. When I rate it, I flip through the file, and I'm like, wait a minute. And we have to move forward with it because they didn't give us a reason why the veteran wasn't reporting. They'll just say, hey, the veteran's not going to the C&P exam. And you're like, according to the M21 and other regulations, they have to give us a reason. So then we have to move forward with the evidence of record. And if that evidence of record doesn't allow us to grant the increase or service connection, deny it. And then we put text in the narrative section of the rating decision stating, hey, you failed to report for the C&P exam. We received a letter from the VSO and or your lawyer, but they did not give a valid reason why you failed to report. And the veteran is mad at the VA. Don't get mad at the VA. Your VSO. You gave them permission to do it, and they screwed it up. So again, this is something that you might want to take on yourself because it's not that hard to do. Okay? Now, the reason why you want to upload it to Quick Submit and mail it and call in, because when that third-party C&P examiner or VA C&P examiner states you failed to report, okay, or you were no-show, when the rater gets it, they see that you called in. And also, when you call them and write on that form, you can let them know, I informed the third-party C&P examiner that I wouldn't be able to make it as well. Okay? So it may sound like you're throwing them under the bus. You're just covering your butt at the end of the day. Okay? Now, what I've been seeing some of these third-party C&P examiners do, okay? The veterans say, Dwayne, and they'll have proof. Here's the request, or here's the letter from the third-party examiner stating, hey, the VA has instructed us to do a C&P exam. It's on this date. Okay? Sometimes veterans say they'll call them and they'll say, hey, are you open on this date, whatever. And then the vet says, oh, I can't make it. I need to reschedule. And they contact the third-party C&P examiner and tell them, hey, I need to reschedule. And there's been some crazy reasons that come from that third-party C&P examiner. Oh, you can't do that. Or you have to go through the VA to do it. They could do it right there on the phone. They're the ones doing the exam. They say, okay, you can't come in on a Monday morning. Can you come in on a Friday evening? Simple as that, right? Well, you would think it would be simple. And the vet doesn't submit that 4138 that I talked about, and they don't call the VA. And guess what happens? The third-party C&P examiner notifies the VA the veteran was a no-show. Like, you never called, you just didn't show up. Okay, so when you submit that 4138, you make that phone call to the VA. If that third-party C&P examiner does that, now you have proof that you were not a no-show. You didn't attend the exam, but you attempted to reschedule. So as a VA rater, if I saw that you called in and you submitted that 4138, even that third-party C&P examiner says you were no-show, you failed to report, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around and reschedule that exam. Simple as that. Because I've seen the documentation from you, the veteran. I don't care that the third-party C&P examiner said you were no-show. I have evidence that you submitted to the VA, hey, I needed to reschedule. So I already know or knew that the third-party C&P examiner was up to no good when they did that, because they should have put in their report, hey, the veteran called in, stated they couldn't make it, the exam needs to be rescheduled. Okay, I've seen that as well. So what I'm basically telling you, take responsibility, because this is something that you can do yourself, but you want to make sure you're doing it the right way. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.